Hi guys, I'm gonna read a little bit from the Brian Froud book again. I just got this book actually. I've never actually owned any other fairy book other than the one that came with my tarot deck. Everything I know about fairies usually really just comes from like myself, pretty much. But yeah, so as I'm reading this, we're all learning together. And there's certain types of fairy trees I was going to share with you guys today because that went along with what I wrote out to talk to you guys about. So, fairy trees. Many trees are the haunts of fairy. Humans foolish enough to pass by a host tree late at night find their arms bruised or pinched by small fairy fingers. Three thorn trees growing closely together at an acute angle are especially potent and should be approached warily if at all. Or on the other hand, thorn tree branches can be hung with ribbons and even rags as appropriating gifts for the fairies. Other trees most favored by the fairies are the blackthorn, hazel, alder, elder, and oak. Elementals and strange creatures haunt these trees, especially if twisted together. Two thorns and an elder are thought to be a particularly dangerous combination. So are oak, ash, woohoo, ash, and thorn. Strangely, however, a twig from each bound together with red thread is a protective charm against evil and hostile spirits. In general, however, one should beware fairy trees, for they are fiercely protected. As with all things fairy, one must approach the benefits with caution. So if you're gonna take a piece from one of these trees to like make a wand or something, you're really gonna want to ask permission and make sure that it is all right for you to take that. Now, if you want to, I like this book. It's got lots of stuff in it that I didn't even know. Like I didn't know, like I knew people took mushrooms to like get high and like access them, but I didn't know that they say specifically that certain ones were made by fairies. So that's kind of makes me mad a little bit. I don't like drugs, but yeah. So honeysuckle, if you want to attract fairies into your backyards, honeysuckle plant like flowers and well, even in my house I have candles that are the smell of honeysuckle and they really like that. Blue flowers. Flowers are a very big symbol that fairies are in that area. If you randomly get blue flowers starting to grow in your garden that weren't there before, because sometimes they will in your grass, you'll just randomly have some. Uh, that'll be a sign that you're starting to get them to come into your area. Or if you're going for a walk through the forest and fields and stuff, you'll notice that certain areas have a little swarm of blue flowers, and that's supposed to be a sign that like fairies are in those, hang out in those trees close by there. Um, any flowers that attract hummingbirds. Fairies love hummingbirds, so if you have hummingbirds coming into your backyard, chances are you have fairies whether you want them or not. Vegetable gardens and fruit like apple trees and stuff will attract the fairies. Fairies don't like bells because it warns people that they're there. They don't want you to know when they're around. But that being said, you could also stick a little bell somewhere and maybe randomly they'll hit it by accident and then you could be like, oh, there was a fairy. But singing and dancing. They like it when you make up your own songs. They want the words to come right through your heart because one of the biggest things you're gonna to know is that you don't actually speak to the fairies through your third eye. You're supposed to speak through your heart so they can read like your intentions and how good you are. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just that's how it is. So they want your songs to like come from your heart. That's why a lot of things say make it come from your heart, right? Because it means more when things come from your heart than if you're just saying it. And dancing as well. They like it when you make up your own songs, when you make up your own dancing. They want you to do like your life force energy dance, basically. And that's what attracts them. You need to dance to your own music. So basically, you're going to just stand still for a bit and feel how the energies are like moving in your body, and then you just want to start to sway and move in the same ways that the energies are, and it allows all the energies to just come out and flow like naturally and as strong as it's supposed to be if you're moving all together as one. um and it's easier to see them at dawn and dusk, the sun gazing times, right? If you look and you could catch a glimpse of fairyland. Uh, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right by the sun either. You might have to look behind you or off to the side or something. It shows up at different spots all the time. Um, Also, at night is really strong as well. If, like, in the middle of the night, if you go into the forest by yourself is better because the chances of you being in a group of people and seeing fairies is not gonna happen. So go sit in the forest by yourself in the dark, scary forest. And it's easier to see the colors at night. Most of your meditation you want to do through the night because the sun blocks a lot of the colors coming through. The only color you can really see during the day is the purple, the electromagnetic field color, right? And that's not the only colors that there are. So go in the forest at night, look at all the colors, and you might start to see like little blue sparkles or little blue orbs at the tops moving through the trees and stuff if you're sitting quiet enough and do it enough. Or just get lucky enough, I guess. Because I'm sure some people see that stuff that don't even mean to. Now, dragons, also, if you work with dragons, I like the elemental dragons, you can mix them with your fairies. You can conjoin the altars together if you don't want to make two separate ones. Because fairies and dragons actually work really good together. They're friends. um, Dragons, if you're working with dragons, they're the wisdom, the knowledge holders. So if you're going to work with the elemental dragons, it's because you're asking them to help you make your practices stronger. Usually if you're doing like telekinesis and like any type of elemental work, right? You want the dragons to help you learn how to do it more effectively and stuff. So they can give you lots of knowledge in other ways as well. But they're very strict. Their rituals and their lifestyle is very strict, and you can't do anything that's harmful to your body. If you have any bad habits, as soon as you connect with your dragon for the first time, it's going to tell you this, and this is wrong. You need to stop doing it, cut it out of your life, and then I'll come talk to you again. But don't even try and talk to me before you've at least cut half of that stuff out. Because they don't want it. They don't want to work with somebody who has a weak body because then you're unhealthy. You're like not worth it. You want your mind, body, and soul to be as healthy and as pure as it possibly can so the energies flow properly, because if they're getting stuck in certain places then you're gonna get sick and all their time is gonna be kind of wasted because you're not even taking care of yourself, right? It's just they've been sitting there teaching you all this stuff, but your body can't even handle doing it because you're unhealthy. So you need to make sure that you're not doing anything that is bad for your body. And you're going to have to make sure that you're doing whatever rituals that are between you. Because with fairies and dragons and anything, your rituals and everything are going to be personal between the two of you, right? So you're going to do whatever you do every day. And you can work with them. Dragons are day or night. There's certain ones for the day, certain ones for the night. And they're all based on an element, so you're going to attract them with things based on their element. if you don't know what type of element you already want to work with, just start with what element you are, like astrologically, right? Everyone's earth, air, fire, water. So just choose your element, and then as you're doing that, one will pop up to you, and you'll find your connection somewhere with whichever one is meant for you. You just got to find it, right? Um, Also, they like coins. Of course, the dragons are always protecting the treasure, right? So put a little dish on your altar with the coins and like old jewelry and stuff, much the same as you do with the fairies anyways. All your old jewelry that you don't need, that are missing pieces and stuff, or just like, yeah, stuff that had jewelry that's had like the jewels fall out, and you can give that to the fairies or the dragons. Anything shiny they both like. um Cinnamon, the smell of cinnamon attracts dragons. um you can use dragon's blood. I might have already said that. And yeah, so with to make the altar, obviously you're gonna regard it with what element they are. So if you got an earth one, you're gonna want to put more like rocks and have a bowl of dirt, and you're gonna want to have the coins as well. If you're air, you're gonna put more like feathers, and like incense represent air. Lots of things. There's lots of different ways. Water, you're gonna want to have a bowl of water. Um, Actually, hydrokinesis is really cool too. I've seen people do that. Um, but yeah, so lots of fun stuff. Give it a try.